Topic 5, Innovation and Design, Lesson 5, Product Life Cycle. Here's what we're going to talk about, and we'll see it on another slide, but when a product first comes into the market, you typically have a monopoly during its introduction because there's no other competitors that exist. You're the first to market. Then you mature, you do really well, you make the majority of your profits up here. Then typically, if your product is good enough, you have a bunch of generic designs from other companies that come out, knockoffs of your product, think Crocs, and then eventually your product profits start to decline unless you can continue to innovate your product and continue to keep it desirable in other ways. Then you can sustain the profitability. Okay, so we'll see that same thing on several different charts here. So the product life cycle, here's where you come out, you had an idea, you promote it, it makes it into the marketplace, it does well, but you can see as soon as other people see that you start to do well, they copy you. You spent all the money on research development, so hopefully you actually reap some of the benefit of that. Your competitors come out, they didn't spend much on research and development, so they can sell their product for less than you can, and typically in the long run, they are going to sell more of the product than you can unless you can convince the consumers that your product is superior to the generic product being available at a lower price. Okay, so you got your monopoly initially, then your competition. And ideally, if you can innovate this, you can keep it going, otherwise it'll become obsolete eventually. Designers need to consider the whole product cycle of products, services, and systems throughout the design cycle and beyond. Products may have an impact not only on the direct consumer, but also on the society at large and the environment. International-Mindedness, the transition from a linear to a circular economy in the move towards sustainable societies. Aim to. An understanding of the product lifecycle allows the designer to design a product with obsolescence in mind. Doing this at the design stage can potentially eliminate the effect of a product on the environment when it is no longer in use. Life cycle, here's the 4 stages you need to be familiar with. Launch, there's slow sales and little profit as the product first enters the market. Growth, the market accepts the product, and so diffusion starts and the sales expand and you start making good money. Maturity, your sales peak and remain steady, so you have your maximum profits during this phase. Decline, market saturation is reached and the sales start to reduce as well as the profit. Planned obsolescence, a product becomes outdated as a conscious act, either to ensure a continuing market or to ensure that safety factors and new technologies can be incorporated into later versions of the product. These have been selling really well. Have the folks in product design add a dash more built-in obsolescence. Style obsolescence, also known as fashion. Fashions and trends can change over time, can result in a product no longer being desirable. Retro styling and the cyclic nature of fashion, things can become desirable again. So we look at some of these designs, 60s, 70s, got Beverly Hills 90210, and although some of these fashions come into style, they tend to then go out of style. And later on, they might come back into style. Functional obsolescence. Over time, products wear out and break. If the parts are no longer available, the product can no longer work in the way it originally did. Also, if a service vital to its function is no longer available, it can become obsolete. For example, if you ride one of these funky bikes and you get a flat tire, good luck finding a tire that size. Now, my guess is it's not really using an air-inflated tire, but maybe it does. Also, cassette tapes. They're kind of fun, but trying to find a tape player nowadays is a whole lot harder than it used to be. So maybe it is becoming functionally obsolete. Technological obsolescence. When a new technology supersedes an existing technology, the existing technology quickly falls out of use and is no longer incorporated into the new products. Consumers instead opt for the newer, more efficient technology in their products. For example, if you buy a new car, what are the chances it would have a tape deck or even a CD player in it these days? Pioneering strategy allows a consistent revenue flow by introducing new versions or generations of a product to the market. Apple uses this strategy effectively, creating multiple versions and generations of their iPod, iPhone, and iPad products.